Hi, welcome back to the Real Estate Muses Workshop. Today our lesson is called C is for Courage. And it sounds like we're going to do something very brave here and very tough, and maybe we are. But this is a step that I absolutely do not want you to skip. It's not fun and it's not creative. It's not part of what we usually like to do here in the workshop. But it's a very necessary step in your growth as a business person. And I feel that you can't move forward until you know where you are now. So this is about finances. This is about taking a tough look at what kind of money you're spending now to live, what needs you have, and what it costs you every month. Not only every month, you have crazy expenses that come in quarterly. You have annual dues, you have annual taxes, and we've really got to do this exercise in order for you to know what you have to make as opposed to what you'd like to make. Because what happens to us as salespeople is we tend to look at debts and bills, and we think of these as negative things, and there's an energy around money that's not always good. I think a lot of us grew up with ideas about money that probably influence everything we do today. And I know that I grew up in a household that was quite secure, and risk was not ever a part of my daily life. So when I went into business and took the risk of putting many things on credit cards and building debt, every time I sat down to calculate what I now owed in pursuit of this goal, it scared me to death. I had a rock in my stomach, and I had a very hard time looking at where I was, and as a result, I felt like I was always playing catch up. I would get a commission and I'd put out a fire, get another commission, put out another fire. My husband luckily had a real job, so we were able to keep the roof over our head and keep our basic expenses met. But this is not why I went into business for myself. I did that so that we could have a more luxurious life and have more freedom, because we have a young child, and we're at a place in our lives where it would be nice to have some choices. But you can't make those choices when they're made for you. When the bills come in the mailbox every day, they kind of dictate how you spend your money, and what happens mentally to us is when there are more bills coming in than we're able to cope with, we get driven down mentally, and that makes it very difficult to do a job that requires a positive state of mind. So I'm going to encourage you today not to go any further or do anything else until we've had a look at your personal finances. And this is not something I can do for you. This is something that you're truly going to have to sit down and take some time with and be honest about. I've created a worksheet that was based on my needs, and I think covers all the basics of what most of us have in a financial budget, but you can feel free to revise it. It was created in Word, and you can feel free to make changes or make it fit you. But it's very important that you complete this step, because the key to what I want you to do in the workshop is I want you to create a revenue stream that keeps paying you. And we can't do that until you discover what amount you need to continue to be paid. We need to set a monthly goal for an amount of money that you need just to get by. And if you already can get by and your real estate career is in pursuit of other things, then we need to take a look at what those things cost. Without some very definite numbers, you really will find that you're ineffective and you're not doing things as well as you could, and you're not setting your goals high enough, because chances are you're vastly underestimating your expenses, and that's the scary thing, is we all kind of know that. So going into it, we're a little afraid of truly looking at what we spend every month and what we spend every year just to live. So C is for courage. I want you to buckle down and do this and take as much time as it takes to get a very, very accurate monthly picture. And what I'm going to ask you to do always is to understand that you're now in business for yourself. you are your own boss, and that's got all these fantastic bonuses, but it's also got some huge responsibilities. And one of those responsibilities is always knowing where you stand financially, and you can't do that in your head. I can promise if you have the figure in your head, you're wrong. Sit down and really begin to pick through it. Get a true number in your head, and then let's set a goal to try to create that number where it's coming in on a somewhat automatic basis through some effort in real estate. Then each month, you can reprint the list. You're going to enjoy seeing the fact that your debts are going to begin to decrease as you begin to be more profitable and learn more about how to create wealth and income through real estate. It's a great joy to hang on to those sheets for a whole year and look back and then compare the debt that you started with last year and see what it has become now that you're more successful. So we got to face reality, but we also want to be able to set goals, and we also want some markers because we are in competition only with ourselves. So this is the guideline that we're going to use over the next year to measure your success and to see whether the income stream you're creating is enabling you to live the life you want to live. So please begin by going to the bottom of the page and download the worksheet. Change it in any way you like, but let's get a very accurate picture of everything you spend every month. And then toward the bottom, also look at things that you spend quarterly, perhaps insurance payments. In real estate, we have association dues and things that only come up once a year, our errors and omissions insurance and our real estate license renewals and those things. And it's a good time to sit down and look at all those things and begin to see how they affect you every month. Because what I don't want to see happen to you is for you to go blindly into this year setting goals that aren't high enough and finding that you're not successful yet and you don't know why. It's because you don't know your numbers. So let's take today, do the worksheet, and we'll begin tomorrow with some positive ways to begin to change that bottom line. Don't be discouraged by anything that you find or be surprised that your expenses are higher than you thought they were, because all of our expenses are higher than we thought they were. So do it, get your numbers, come back, and let's work on the next steps tomorrow and begin to take that balance sheet and tip it toward profit rather than loss. Thanks, have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.